Oh my goodness, you know it. Pre-recorded live before a studio audience of my stuffed animals from our Boston studios. It's time for the Comics Coffee Table. Indeed, we have show notes, we have web pages, we have wikis. You think I've never done this before, and we have comic books. We have comic books. What, we're skipping ahead? No. We're not even touching back issues today. We're talking about new comic books, and we talk about new comic books basically twice a week now. It's great. We've fallen into a nice routine, I feel. And first, welcome to the Comics Coffee Table. We take a couple of minutes every day. We talk about comic books every day. And so this is our coffee break. We're enjoying it together, talking about our hobby, one of our favorite things, our escapism. We're going to leave the real world over there for a couple of minutes. We're going to pull up a chair to this very Comics Coffee Table. We're going to grab a cuppa, whatever it is we're shoving under our noses today there, pal. We're reading my show notes from my executive producer, Pika. This is Drinka. He's the cameraman and the union microphone boom operator. And that is the Canadian Bear, the studio audience. And yourself for showing up today. Thank you so very much. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, we premiere the show. And you can watch it any time of day. You can hop into the conversation any time of day or any day, however you're feeling, in the comments section. If you're here for 3 p.m. premiere, there is a live chat premiere, and it's always full of great people. We're talking about comic books, and it's Wednesday. It means it's New Comic Book Day. Happy New Comic Book Day. Hopefully, this is us right now on the live chat. I'm at the local comic book shop, the LCS, and what we're doing is we're looking at our list of comic wants, and we're just going down the list, and we're being like, ooh, did you make a list? I do, kind of. I do this show. So I know what I'm getting myself into on Wednesday when I go to my local comic book shop. And so this is us right now. I'm like, oh, look what I'm getting. What are you getting? It's really fun. And because that's what comic book fans do, especially on New Comic Book Day. Awesome. And it's good to see you all here today, too. It always is. I hope you're having a great day. And I hope you are running your problems and not being run by them. Indeed. It is New Comic Book Day. So what we do, we review the comics that we bought today on Sunday. So on Sunday, you're going to see reviews of everything that I've picked up today off the new release shelf. Last week, we only had 3 comic books. This week, it's going to be hopefully a little more. And we're going to go down the full list of comics. I go to this place called leagueofcomicgeeks.com/new-comics. That is the URL, the Universal Resource Locator, the HTTP, the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. You HTML people. Hypertext markup language. Carrots and slashes, commands and strands of codes. That's all. It's the matrix behind every single one of your web pages and apps. I barely know anything about it. But what I do know is how to look up things. And so Wednesdays, our show now revolves around coming to the League of Comic Geeks channel, website, and going over this week's comics. I'm a professional chef. My professional life revolves around menus and offerings to guests. So welcome to the menu. There are what? 117 different periodical publications presented on this platform. I was going for alliteration, huh? Marvel style. There are 117 different periodicals offering just this week for comic book shops to purchase from their distributors to sell on their shelves just for today. There's got to be that one comic book store out there that gets one copy of everything. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are, but you have my respect. I appreciate you. I do. And I appreciate you, Robert Meyer Burnett. Robservations with Robert Meyer Burnett. Do, 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 do. Yes, I am part of the post-geek singularity. I am an information connoisseur, as he likes to say. Imagination connoisseur. Imagination. And he's the imagination maestro. A good cup of coffee. Let's get to it. Oh, read your show notes, Sil. It's right on top. Set your timer. Oh, because you folded that page back. Oh, because Pika took you to the pub. Pika took me to the pub the other night. Where we got to write show notes. We call it a working lunch. We made show notes for July. There we go. New release. See? That's the shape of the month. And then we have all these blank spaces to fill in with topics and things to do and things to talk about. So if you have any suggestions, throw them in the comment section. Seriously, let me know. There's something we can do. We got one request out there. Who is my top 10 current artists? That's a good question. I'm going to get to that. I wrote it down, and it's, maybe later this week we can do that. I'm averse to top 10 lists. It came up. I'm hanging out with some of my YouTube friends on Sundays, and we're movie heads, and it just blurts out at the end, like, what is your top 10 favorite movies? I have no answer for that. I literally have hundreds of DVDs and Blu-rays. And I've got shelves of them. It looks like a video store out in my living room, like a video store after closing, where you still need to put everything away on the shelves. I actually need to build another shelf. I have it. I just got to assemble it, and But while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna clean the entire living room, and you move the rug, it's an area rug, move the rug, move the couch. Get underneath that, get the whole kit and caboodle. Take everything off the shelves, wipe everything down. It can't be spring cleaning because it's summertime. Hello. But yeah, 117 different things. Imagine that kind of pull list. Wow. And there's so many different publishers. Man, and just it reminds you of, how many indies are really out there. So let's get to it. These things usually lead off with big 2 offerings, and maybe sometimes big 3, because Dark Horse or Image is they're just part of the whole. I would not consider Dark Horse or Image or IDW to be an independent press. Boom, maybe. Dynamite, maybe. But they're more there's Marvel and DC, and then there's a pack of reputable presses that are not independent presses. They're just strong, big presses, and who may or may not be owned by corporations, such as Marvel and DC, which were previously in the 20th century. Well, DC, Warner Brothers, the Kinney Corporation bought National Comics Publications in the late 60s. And then they bought Warner Brothers 7 Seas movie productions and their library, and then rebranded their public image as Warner Brothers. So yes, DC Comics has been owned by a corporation since the mid to late 60s. And here, that's a good question. Here, when did Kinney buy National Comics? The Kinney Corporation. On July 21st, 19. Where is it? Oh. Comics. Oh, on July 21st, 1967, Kinney National expanded by acquiring National Periodical Publications, more commonly, but not yet officially called DC Comics. That would occur in 1977. And they owned Mad Magazine of EC Publications, Entertaining Comics. And the acquisition was completed on August 25th. But later that year, on November 13th, 1967, Kinney bought Hollywood talent agency Ashley Famous, so here it goes. Here comes like some really like modern corporate dominoes falling. Ted Ashley suggested to Ross that he buy out the cash-strapped film company Warner Brothers 7 Arts, which had purchased Atlantic Records that same month. So Warner Brothers now owns Atlantic Records. All right. So in February 1968, Kinney acquires Panavision Incorporated. They're a motion picture equipment company. And October 8th, Kinney sold its subsidiary, National Rent-A-Car, blah, blah. But in 1969, in January 28th, 1969, Kinney would acquire Warner Brothers 7 Arts. It was completed on July 4th, and they had to sell the talent agency because of antitrust laws. So on December 16th, Warner Brothers 7 Arts was rebranded as Warner Brothers Incorporated. And yeah, it was a financial scandal. And so renaming the remaining Kinney National Company as Warner Communications on February 10th, 1972. And that's how DC Comics was part of Warner Brothers, Warner Communications. It began with Kinney. Kinney was an American conglomerate company from 1966 to 1972. And it's a multi-industry company that, and its successors were the Kinney Corporation, Warner Communications, then Time Warner, AOL Time Warner, like when it bought Time Magazine, then when it bought America Online, and then Warner Media. And its current successor is Warner Brothers Discovery. It was, before that, Kinney Corporation was a parking lot company. We're reading this from the wiki, you guessed it. But let's get to new comics. But that's like the quick history of DC Comics. It was owned by a corporation. So the big two are owned by major corporations. Disney bought Marvel, in the early 21st century. What was that, 2010? We're not going to get into that convoluted history. When did Disney buy Marvel? Disney buy Marvel. Yeah, it's right there. In 2009 for $4 billion. Hacha. So, but I think Dark Horse just got bought by a major by a corporation. Image, not so much. And then Dynamite, Boom, IDW. Those are like that mid-tier pack. But then underneath that, there's a whole bunch of independent publishers trying to get their product out and trying to tell their stories and trying to pay their creators and trying to make that almighty dollar and be successful and make art at the same time and tell great stories and maybe even get that Netflix deal, which seems to be the brass ring of any and all, serialized storytelling. It's like, are they making comic books or are they making storyboards for Hollywood? Who knows? Who cares? I mean, Mark Miller says that the comic book changes. Comic book is a secular thing almost. I'm paraphrasing. And every 20 years it comes full circle. And we're coming close to the full circle of this 20-year cycle. And that it might be stabilizing, especially with San Diego Comic-Con, with having a few of the Hollywood presences, like such as, Marvel, Netflix, pulling from the San Diego Comic Con, that it's going to get less Hollywood and more focused back on comics and collectors and creators and that culture. And I'm into that. I'm here for that. And let's see. Okay, well, let's get to the comic books. We got Tech 1073 coming out, written by Ram the Fifth. That's Detective Comics issue number 1073. It's 40 pages at a cover price of $4.99. And it's Ram the Fifth, Ivan Rice, who we've seen all week with our Green Lantern Man rebox reboard, and it doesn't see if there's a backup tale in this, and it's Ram V. I know I'm being silly. And there are 6 variant covers for this bad Larry, and a Pride cover. And I'm not making fun of anyone. Seriously, there's a 1 in 50 foil variant. Jeez, for a common issue though. There's a 1 in 25 cardstock variant. There's a swimsuit variant by Pete Woods. The Pride, and all the cards, the variants are cardstock variants. So, and they're all $1 more, and so that quality goes. There was just a quality shift right there. So, kind of justifies the, boost in price. I would like to see something like, idealistically, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us in the world. We'll buy funny books. These are compact discs. This is the John Lennon collection. This is huge. This is great. This is a gift from one of my best friends about 20 years ago. Over. Yeah. And there's always a stack of music on the coffee table. A stack of video games, a stack of books, and a stack of comic books on our coffee table. We're trying to turn each other on to good stuff. But, there might be a backup feature. Dan Waters is... And we've got 2 artists. Yeah. So there's definitely a backup feature in it. It's Detective Comics. It has to. It just doesn't say it on the cover. No, skip. I'm not into that. I'm not even buying Batman much. I tuned in for a little bit, literally for the Jorge Jimenez art. It wasn't for the Chip Zdarsky story. Zdarsky seems to be like just retreading old Morrison story notes. It's like, I read this, 20 years ago when this was new. Like, I was younger, and this is the stories I grew up on, and now okay, that's cool. Yeah, I read them too. We got ASM 28. That's Amazing Spiderman. 28 pages. Cover price of $3.99, which is the industry standard. It is, the writer is Zev Wells. The artist is Ed McGuinness, with inks by Mark Farmer. Mark Farmer. Wow, there are 9 variant covers for this. Damn. Okay. Still not interested. But yeah, my comic book shop, my local, my LCS did not have ASMs 26 or 27 on the shelves last week to replace what they sold out the weeks before. I had to get ASM 26 from my secondary place, and I would have got ASM 27 maybe if I saw it, but it was already sold out on the previous Wednesday. I got there at 2:30, I think. They opened at 11, so they had only been open for 3.5 hours. So, but it's not like if I really wanted it, I'd put it on my pull list. I don't use a pull list, but if you really want something, you don't want to miss out, start a pull list. That's what they're there for, and that's what the store is there for. They're there to help you out for that. It helps them out too, because it's about them making orders. See, it's like my store doesn't know that I'm interested in buying ASM 27. Because if I communicate to them, then the first thing that they're going to say is, well, why don't you start a pull list? And it's like, come on, guys, you know me by now. I know I don't, but I just wanted to keep you mindful that, like, hey, when you're ordering, you might want to throw in, like, an extra copy or two. Perhaps, maybe. I seem to be grabbing the last copy of things at 3 p.m. on new release day. You've only been open for 4 hours. I mean, don't you have customers coming tomorrow on Thursday? Don't you have customers coming on Saturday? I mean, that's where I'm coming from. Maybe they're not putting all of them out. Maybe they have some in the back still that they've, when they run out in the shelf, that could be it too. I don't know. I'm basing that off the presumption because when I go back on other days, those same comics that have sold out aren't on the shelf either. But hey, that's just from my experience. I could be wrong. Here's what I'll be getting. Action Comics 1056. This is a 48-page funny book for $4.99. This has got 2 backup features that I'm not interested in really. The Steel one, yeah, sure. Just I have to get. Wow, there are 9 variant covers. Well, no, 8 variant covers. Maybe 7. They were like 616 Comics, Unknown Comics, Comics Traders, Comic Shop, the Carla Cohen variant, and it comes regular or foil, it looks like. But those are specific comic book shops that have a unique variant covers. Now, if that was offered at my shop, I would probably do it because it's a really nice looking traditional Power Girl, and there's 616 Comics have 2 variant covers with, and one of them has 2 different styles. One of them has the Action Comics trade dress, the other one doesn't. Then there's a Supergirl cardstock variant that shows the Sasha Calle version from the Flash movie, and then there's a swimsuit cardstock variant that says 1 and 2 because you got what they are different. One of them just shows Supergirl, there's Supergirl, Power Girl, Superboy, and Steel, Natasha Irons swimsuit, getting sun. But then there's one where you have Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, lean over and blow super cold air on Connor Kent, Superboy. That looks cute. I'd be down for that if it had it. Seriously. And I've been reading this. Philip Kennedy Johnson is writing a really good Superman story. I'm in for that. Not for Superman proper by Joshua Williamson, which I heard is really good. Thor 35 is coming out. Green Arrow #3. I should be into something such as Green Arrow. I'm not. Green Arrow comic titles come and go, man. They really do. But I hear good things about it. I don't buy everything. I don't need to. I don't have the space for it. I don't have the funds for it. I mean, I gotta be very practical. And so I'm very lean on what I buy because there's other things besides new releases that I'm buying, and specifically it's supplies, and it's also the occasional, Bronze Age baby from the back issues bin. More alliteration, huh? We got She-Hulk 14. That's $3.99. Ghost Rider 15 for $3.99. We got Deadpool #8 for $3.99. Thor 35 is $3.99. So $3.99. That's the median cover price. It's Harley Quinn #31. That's $4.99. 40 pages though. Teenie Howard, and I've never read anything by her, so I got nothing to say negative about that. Riddler Year 1. There's World Tree #3 off Image Comics. That's James Tynion, and I've heard nothing about this. Are you reading World Tree? You throw some Bond mutts with, there's Batman Brave and the Bold #2 for $7.99. I avoid Tom King like the plague, and no thanks, not made for me. If it's Tom King, it's not made for me. There's Vanish number 8 for $3.99. This is some. This is Donny Cates. Sorry, Donny Cates has blocked me on Twitter, so I refuse to buy any Donny Cates. I hope. I see. This thing brings out the hate in me. It really does. There's hate in everyone. Probably. Maybe not. Even me. But something like being put on a block list and being blocked by a comic book creator for this bullshit pop culture war that you guys got going on. I mean, seriously, fuck you, Donny Cates. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You fucking shithead. How am I supposed to buy your comic books? How am I supposed to support you, you asshole? How? Huh? Fucking punk. Twitch. Seriously. The Last Ronin, number 4. This is IDW's most successful title. It's probably keeping them just a little afloat, but it doesn't look good for them. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, The Lost Years, number 4. There's that's for $4.99, and that's 32 pages, but that's like their cash cow. And there's Dr. Aphra, Star Wars Dr. Aphra, $3.99, and that's it's Darth Vader's doctor, apparently. Captain America, Symbol of Truth. There's X-Men Before the Fall, Heralds of Apocalypse. There's a new Fall of the X-Men coming. Here's one that I'm really interested in getting. I skipped issue 2. It didn't interest me because I'm into creators. 2 creators in this anthology that I'm interested. I got issue 1 because of Peach Momoko and Klaus Janssen's art. This is Star Wars, Darth Vader, black, white, and red. It's just black and white with red coloring where it should be, like on lightsabers or explosions or in shadowing. 36 pages, $4.99. It's got a Jason Aaron Leonard Kirk story that's probably connecting the anthologies, but then it's got 2 other tales. One by Mark Bernardin, who is the co-host of Fat Man Beyond with Kevin Smith. He's done a lot of good work. I like him as a person. I like him as a TV host. He is one of us. He's geeky. So I'll support this. He's a huge Star Wars fan, and I want to see what he's got. I don't think I've ever consciously read a Mark Bernardin book. I will now. And also, Daniel Warren Johnson's doing a Darth Vader tale. Okay, I'm in just for that. Seriously. So I'm going to be getting this for the Daniel Warren Johnson story and the Mark Bernardin story. Seriously. Yeah, the Jason Aaron Leonard Kirk stuff, it just, doesn't really interest me. But, I'm still not interested in picking up issue number 2 because I'm not feeling that completist urge. But yeah, I'll pick that up. That's $4.99. Tim Drake Robin number 10, not made for me. Skip. Scorched. Nope. Silk number 2. Alien number 3. See, I got the first issue of this. It's more Marvel Comics. It's $4.99 for 28 pages. And that's like 22 issues of story and 6 pages of advertisements. And this is it's a Declan Shalvey is writing, and I got the first issue, and it didn't grip me. And I'm like, no, I'll pass on this. And I'm thinking that was a good choice. I mean, come on, $5 for 22 pages of story? Are you kidding me? No, I'm sorry. There's Daredevil and Echo number 2, not budging. No, thank you. Storm number 2 from Annie Nocenti, 28 pages, $3.99. See, you're getting 22 pages of story. People complain about the art. I'm not. Who cares? I mean, it's not. It's there for a classic storyteller to be paired with maybe a new kind of visionary artist. Blah blah. Woof woof. I'm in. I'm gonna check that one out because I like the first issue and it fits right after X-Men Uncanny X-Men 170 on my spinner rack, and that's where it's gonna end up. Let's see, what else are we getting? City Boy number 2. There is a stack of unsold City Boys number 1 on my new comic book on my LCS shelf. It's $3.99 for 32 pages, written by Greg Pak, who's blocked me on Twitter on a group block list. And yeah, so fuck you too, Greg Pak. Fuck you very much, you asshole. How the fuck am I supposed to buy your stories? How am I supposed to enjoy them? You judgmental fucking see you next Tuesday. Sorry. I usually am very positive. This is usually a geeky chill stream. But I'm a person. I have more than 2 sides. I've got 20. And this motherfucker rolled a 1. No, you gotta roll that. And I scored I scored infinity. If you believe that. Do I read that like infinity? Or is that an 8? Why isn't you focusing? Camera! Drinker! Oh, that's a 6. Okay. Why don't you get your... Or is it a 9? See, this is why you can't take me to Dungeons and Dragons night. All right, I just ruined everything with my slap happiness. Hey, guess what? The turkey's done. But City Boy number 2 is out. So fuck you, asshole. I hope it doesn't sell. I hope it fucking turns into fucking compost. You dumb shit. How the fuck am I supposed to buy your magazines, you judgmental cunt? Sorry, I am so angry. I am so beyond angry about that. I shouldn't care. I really should. But it just evokes the hate in me. It brings it out. It makes me like... It puts the fire back in my eyes. It puts the rage in my outrage. Local Man number 5. Heard nothing about good things about this one. Tim Seeley. And $3.99. And it's on Image Comics. And it's a my friend Yule Carter extols the virtues of this magazine. And Fables. $1.59. Wow. There are 3 issues. I wonder if this is some kind of... why are you doing this to your stores? Dark Horse Comics. It seems we've got June 28th for $3.99. We've got Star Wars High Republic Adventures 6, 7, and 8. Is that for real? I'm not going to touch it. There are so many Star Wars titles just at Marvel alone. There's like 13 or 14. And then there are like 3 more over at Dark Horse, 3 or 4 more. How many Star Wars titles are between Marvel and Dark Horse? How many Star Wars titles are available each month? I will find this out. I'm going to write this. Pika, write that one down. How many? Why'd you bring the thing over here? Oh. Pika, how am I supposed to read your writing? All right, let's see if that works. We'll probably cover that next week. Awesome. All righty. There is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo, Where When, number 4. I still haven't gotten 3. So hopefully with 4 on the shelf today, they'll have gotten a couple of issues of 3 to put behind that. Because they know hopefully they know that they've been out. Because I couldn't find 3 at my secondary comic book shop either. And, I might have to spread the net for that one. Indeed. There's Boom Studios. There's Dark Horse, Marvel previews for 0. Yeah, that's good. Let's see. Anything else? Dungeons and Dragons Saturday Morning Adventures number 4. Yeah, I stopped at 2 just because it was cute. It was fine. It was fun. But it's not going to go anywhere. And I did my good deed. I got it for a little bit, huh? They're on Boom Studios, Creed, The Next Round. And it's from the movie. Yeah, it's a movie tie-in kind of thing. Let's see. My Hero Academia, number 392 from Viz. Let's see. There's a Vampirella. Nottingham. Tales from Nottingham, number 5 on Mad Cave Studios. Mad Cave's one of those indies I do buy. And I've heard good stories about it. But here's one for me. If it's on the shelf, I'm going to get this. Because it's Scout Comics. And it's new. It's caught my eye with the cover. And just being sci-fi and something to buy. It's $4.99. It's Dust, number 1. And it has nothing to do, apparently, with the Hugh Howey book Dust. From the Silo series. It's written by Brett Register and art by Gaston Gomez. And Jupiter has ignited. The Earth has turned to dust. The rich and powerful have built a utopia underground. The rest of humanity are left to die on the surface. And we're going to take the story from there. So if it's on the shelf, I'm going to get that. Because I'm into spreading my spreading the net and getting some indies. And but I'm only seem to be getting Scout and Mad Cave. But there aren't that many out there. I'm just like thinking out loud, like hey, like what's on the shelf now? Here we go once again. $9.99. 192 pages though. It's 400 pages for a $3 show, Shonen Jump Weekly over in Japan, printed on pulp paper stock, like newsprint, pulp stock. But Betty and Veronica Jumbo Comics, digest number 315. I haven't seen an Archie comic book on a shelf in a long time, besides that stupid boutique shit with Archie horror comics, which won't get anything out of me. They can finish Afterlife with Archie, and then why don't you commit to finishing that story, huh? Oh, we got excuses. Well, sure. I get an excuse. It's called I ain't spending my money. And that's about it for this week. Out of the 117 different periodicals available to us, we're only going to get a few. We can only afford so much, Pika. I have to worry about your 9-volt battery addiction. We got to keep you charged up. Ooh, shocking. Oh, you and your puns. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. It's New Release Wednesday. So hopefully you're at your local comic book shop buying stuff. And why don't you buy some supplies while you're at your local comic book shop today? Do you need boxes? Do you need boards? Do you need bags? Now's the time to pick them up. Don't buy them off off at the big box stores or off the online supply chain. Get them at your local comic book shop, please. They deserve your patronage and your business. I know mine does. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, we premiere. Be part of this conversation. Leave a comment in the comment section. Keep this comic book shop style conversation continuing. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Check out the live chat premiere. Be part of it. We talk about comic books every day, and you're welcome here. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again in those funny pages tomorrow. Ciao. Bye-bye.